Welcome to this fifth round of the Legacy Relic Fest tournament. And we will see a Reanimator mirror because we try to take people on higher tables. And besides people we already seen in stream, we took the highest ranking table, and it happened to be what Legacy has best to offer.
A mirror of Gibert Reanimator. So maybe the toss decide who win. I don't know this matchup if the toss has a really big impact or not.
I think it will matter with your starting hand, meaning if you're on the draw, maybe you want something that has a more of a reactive game plan.
Yeah.
But I think that it's not a turn one combo deck either, so blade draw won't change a lot, in my opinion.
Because the black version of Reanimator could kill turn 1 with the Dark Ritual combo into Entomb Reanimator with that Raxa backup or Grizzlebrand and you all in it. But the UB doesn't does that.
Not really, exactly. It's more like a tempo shell disguised as a reanimator deck. So it's more about, I think, the player's perspective and talent in this matchup. And we already see Benjamin making his first mulligan on this game.
I think the list of Reanimator doesn't have any wrong card in it except maybe the creature who, if you doesn't have the rare spell, seems like to be bad creature like Atraxa and Archon of Clarity. It's too hard to cast to be cold card, but the deck has only good cards. It's so strong. You have all the best blue spell combined with the best black spells of reanimation. It's really hard to counter this deck, and it's for that reason that he is the best deck of the meta.
It's been some amount of years now, indeed. We have actually 5 cards difference between these two decks, which is quote unquote a lot.
Yeah.
We have like dates for the negation, 1 animated and 2 fetches more on one side. On the other hand, we have different lands, Wasteland that was added, second Brazen Brower, and third Murktide Regent.
Westland.
Yep.
It's pretty hard tech. It's a really good card tech maybe in the mirror, but you really don't want to draw a lot of Westland in this deck.
You always play some amount of them. It is quite standard, though one of the players decided to play 3/2. These are the small adjustments that you make to these deck lists regarding what you expect at a tournament, what your taste is like. It will be very subtle.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We can say that the matchup will be a match of counter spell.
a match of skill, indeed.
Yeah,
Of counter
with counter
spells.
spell.
I think we could say so to some extent. Numbers seems about the same. No, I think I'm wrong actually. One of them has 2 more counter spells than the other. The player on the right seems to lean more on the control-ish side of things, with a bit more lands, a bit more counter spells, a bit more Murktides. On the other hand, the player on our left seems to play. Once again, it's subtle. It's like 5 card differences in the main deck, so it's not the end of the world. But still, player on the left seems to lean a bit more in the reanimator side of things. We'll see who will win this duel, but I don't think these 5 cards will determine it all.
Maybe the counter spell difference will make it.
This is a fair point, though, because it might be the difference between getting reanimated too early and not having an answer, or being able to win a counter war over a critical spell. People sculpting their hands at the moment, discarding one another.
It's funny because if you don't know the formats, you can think, oh, he played Ponder, Thug Thighs, oh, they're playing a Mirror of Dimir Control, maybe? And in one turn, you have an Archon of Clarity in game.
That's more or less the name of the game, indeed. This deck is always has navigated since its existence, so I would make its infancy from the time we started to have the Grief Reanimator deck in Legacy, so like 3 years ago. This was when this Tempo slash Reanimator shell was really converging to the state it's in at this moment. And like 3, 4, 5 cards maybe have been banned from this deck,
Yeah,
and still is the best deck of the format. So I think something else has to be taken off.
maybe a reanimate.
Reanimate is an option, and Tomb has been discussed too. I think one or the other might be the right axis. Either way, it will do collateral damage on other decks.
Just imagine players of Legacy on the next announcement if they ban Force of Will or Days or Brainstorm. Oh my god, they ban Brainstorm, what have they done?
I don't think this will ever happen. I
I
don't
think-
think this could ever happen.
Yeah, maybe it's in the law. They can't make that with the reserve list.
I don't think, yeah, I think Legacy is based upon like Force of Will, Brainstorm, and Wasteland. I don't think these cards are getting out of the format
And
anytime
Ponder.
soon. Yeah, but I think if Ponder got banned, which I don't think it should or will, people might get less crazy than if Brainstorm or Force of Will
Yeah.
or Wasteland.
Maybe not the same level, but you're right.
But still, we are witnessing. Okay, I was about to say we are witnessing a wet noodles fight. Not anymore. One of these players is about to do something really unfair, or at least attempt to trap his opponent. I'm not sure. Yannick has a reanimation spell in his hand, so maybe no fight around this this entomb, and maybe we'll see a fight later over the potential reanimate spell.
On Atrax.
I think in the matchup might be the best card, gives you the more cards, so the most counter spells and potential answers or follow-up threats. Rather than Archon, which looks typically more reactive in this matchup, it certainly does kill quickly, but doesn't give you enough resources, I think, to really beat your opponent to death.
I just realized that you don't run Drizzlebrand in Reanimator.
Not anymore, not in this version, though.
Yeah, I just I just realized that.
It's been quite some time now, I think, that the deck has arrived to these two creatures to reanimate, one Archon, one Atraxa. Every one of them has a good place to be cast in. And we are seeing an attempt at reanimating from Yannick with this animate dead on the stack.
Oh, I have just realized something else.
Mhm.
How both players playing those decks have a draw each one.
What do you mean by that?
Well, they got a draw with UB Reanimator.
Oh, right.
Both players,
Yeah.
and they face each other now.
Right.
So how it is possible with these decks to go to the clock?
Maybe against other slower decks? Maybe.
Maybe versus Pox?
Fair point, maybe. Okay, these 10 cards looks yummy. We have Brainstorm, I think. Another Entomb, not interesting in this, I think. Ponder.
In Duel Commander, when you play Atraxa, she have a low percentage, but she can fail. In Legacy, with 10 card, you can't fail.
You will always find gas, that's for sure.
I think you draw always 3 cards with it. Always.
Yeah, I think that's the median, yes.
The median, you think? I guess. But
I think it could be more or less. But I
Less?
think 3
Yeah.
is the median, yes. If you have less than 3,
I think it's pretty
you've
hard to
been
have less
unlucky.
than 3.
You have been unlucky, yeah.
Because there is not a lot of land in the decks. Like we say, less than 17?
It's 18 or 19.
19. But even in 19, you have no NDFC in the deck.
No.
Okay. So 19 lands.
There is something else to take into account in this mirror match, is the ability for each deck to reanimate each other's threats.
Yeah,
If you entomb your Atraxa and your opponent has something to reanimate it, you might be in a bad spot. I think if you're willing to play the entomb first, that means you have protection from of any sort, of any kind, to fight over something that your opponent might do. Because as we see Yannick doing his entomb, to me, that speaks that he has some answers.
maybe you could run inside board just in imagination, like Goryo's Vengeance, to say I'm gonna cast my animated dead on my Atraxa. Hey, no, I play my
I,
Goryo's Vengeance.
I don't think Gora's
Well, before the
Vengeance.
cast you can target, but or as the cast you play Goryo's Vengeance on your hand.
I'm not quite sure Goryo's Vengeance can target anything.
Sorry, it's not Goryo's Vengeance. That's what I have in mind.
Okay,
Necromancy.
Necromancy is fair
Necromancy.
enough, yep.
Yeah.
But 3 mana is the end of the game. And,
Oh, it's not allowed to make the playmat.
uh,
So
yep, we should tell the players.
I need to go, I guess.
Yep, we'll see. I'll be right
I
back.
will
Soon.
get.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, Bastien, for going to the table. Student had the opportunity to watch the game of Florian Toulier that you casted. Did he win? Florian Tourière played Red Stompy, if I remember correctly. If that's the case, he indeed won his match. And it is the case. Yep, he won his match against Simic Show and Tell. In a pretty convincing manner, though. Also, sorry, in a pretty convincing manner, also. And in this match, yep, Yannick with the strong show of strength, willing to risk the entomb really early in the game. I think the player wanted his playmat to feel more at ease.
Well, no, the reason was pretty cool. The Relic Fest is foiling, and so he doesn't love to play on this playmat.
Ah.
So that's why he tried to put him, but he says, okay, I put it away.
Okay, that's fair of him. That's actually a good point. You maybe not see it from Sophie. No, I'm his clone from the future. No, anyway, the playmat, the Relic Fest writing on the playmat, that might not transpire in the camera too much, but it shines as the sunlight. It is reflecting every light on the venue, and yep, I think this could be bothersome to some players. I hope this won't be too bothersome for our players this weekend. I'm pretty glad myself that the foiling doesn't go through that much on the camera. It could have been bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't, so it's pretty cool.
Benjamin will be on the play on this matchup. So here comes the meeting game of this mirror match. Do you keep your monsters? Do you keep your animate dates? I think that you will always keep your animates in this matchup. Do you keep your monsters? Do you go more mid-range-ish? Do you allow your opponents to play with your own graveyard? How much graveyard hate do you put? There are a lot of questions. This is maybe a despicable deck. A lot of people tend to despise this deck. Nonetheless, it is a very subtle and very interesting deck to play. I clearly don't have the reps to have the good answers in how do you sideboard this, but I thought maybe.
There is a little difference of card tech in between the sideboards. The first thing we can see is someone play Doty and the other one no. So there would be 3 Doty in, I guess, but not for his opponent. And I think this is a really cool tech card against the matchup.
I think you're right. The player that has access to the Voidwalkers, in this case Yannick, I think, has maybe an edge post board because it is a decent beater, and in the matchup, I think it is quite a good card indeed. Whether you are trying to beat down your opponent with mid-range creatures or you are trying to prevent your opponent from reanimating stuff, I think you make a fair point. On the other hand, we have more control-ish take from the side of Benjamin, which has, I think it is his fourth Murktide Regent. No, sorry, it's his third Murktide Regent in the sideboard. Cards like Baragov or Force of Negation might come in. Brazen Burrower maybe, but I don't think this is a good answer against a reanimated Atraxa, for instance.
Yeah. Orchid Master can still make a kill, I guess, with Brainstorm in the deck.
Yep, if only players still played Bowmasters, it could.
One played it in sideboard, but the other one
Yeah.
too?
Fair point. So, more or less to the ground after the sideboard in Yannick's part, because we have the Bowmasters and the One Walkers in his sideboard.
Yeah, and so the player with counterspells in his sideboard, was it the player with the most counterspell or the less counterspell?
The most already.
So
It
he
is-
can be really more control than his opponent, who will be a lot more board control. Don't have a start Tamio. Oh.
Yep, you need to enter this right here, right now, I think, or this can bury you really quickly under a lot of cards. Unless... Unless yourself have your own Tamio. I'm sorry I didn't put the timer on the screen. It will come really soon. This might be a problem for both players where you really need to have something to answer these at some point down the line.
Maybe it's because of Tamio that got draw for each player.
I don't think you get to play a draw if you draw half of your deck and beat down your opponent with an Atraxa or Force of
Yeah,
backup.
you're right.
I don't think this is the reason why Tamio make draw. These players made a draw.
Do you take the days in Desponder?
I don't quite know the rest of the hand, so no definitive answer, but I think Days might be okay in this matchup. He doesn't have a land. Okay, so that answers the question. I think Days might be good, but you should prefer lands. Days is, I think, a real good card in this matchup because it's pretty rare that you have more than 3 lands in play. And when you want to double spell at some point, or if your opponent wants to draw a huge curve payoff like Bargoyf, these days might still be relevant even really late into the game. But yep, as mentioned in the chat, I think the land are more important than the days at this very moment.
Maybe have another response in hand.
And we survive an Entomb. Yeah, he should have. I see a blue card. Oh, it's Murktide Regent, Fell Push, Thought Seize, or Inquisition of Kozilek. I think it's an Inquisition.
It's really cool card in this matchup too.
Are you casting in English this weekend? Yes, for sure. The whole tournament will be cast in English, and including the Duel Commander and the top 8 on Sunday.
Did you see what I see? A legacy player putting a token into the playmat.
Yeah, we
are in
indeed
2025.
we provide player with dry erasing tokens and the pen that goes with it. But yeah, actually these players have their token, which is pretty rare in Legacy indeed. They don't like token that much, I think, in Legacy.
Time you flip it after this brainstorm.
Yep, and so this Fatal Push suddenly looks worse. Anyway, it didn't look really good. It's not a real good answer against the Tamio, which can flip instant speed thanks to a Brainstorm. So, oh, and
I love this play.
can try that.
I love this play because you have a really strong Tamio in play, sorry, and
If-
your opponent can't draw on clue. You have no land in hand.
This you're not supposed to know, but I assume this matchup is really resource light regarding lands at least, and pinching your opponent out of their lands when you have an active Tamio Planeswalker, I think, is a way to win the game.
Do you just daze?
No, I think you just show that you
Just
have.
Oh my god, what a hand.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a quick 2-0 for Yannick. I don't want to sell the game before it's really ended, but
I have
looking
it.
at this hand,
I have a Tamio flipped and I have 4 counterspell in hand.
yeah, all of
Well,
them
you
are
need
free.
you need to pitch them, but you have a lot of options.
Yeah, one way or another, your next threats won't resolve anytime soon.
And you have a little days in your hand to compensate. So this is the control version who is winning actually?
No, absolutely not. Yannick is the more aggressive one with the Voidwalkers, the Bowmasters,
Whoa.
and less counterspell than his opponent, at least in the decklist. When we say less, actually
Yeah.
post side is like 2 less counterspells, so it's not that he's playing 4 less than his opponent. But still in this position, having more counterspells seems profitable.
Oh, and he drew success.
Pounces at the fob, yeah.
It's just one of the best top deck in this situation, particularly on this turn, because your opponent have only 1 land in hand. Seems like maybe days it.
Oh, that's rough, though.
That's right, but you have no solution. You don't want your opponent to know you have nothing.
I think if you are willing to daze a Thought Seize against an open mana, you are already telling your opponent that you doesn't have anything in hand.
The brainstorm still resolve with the Tamio, so you know your opponent have nothing in hand.
Yeah, fair game, fair game. So we see, okay, Bitter Triumph might be an answer to this Tamio, but with a really... I insist on the might here, because with all these counterspells and these Thoughtseize, I would be surprised that, yep, this card lasts for a turn in their hand. And so you are maybe facing a Murktide Regent, you have to take care about that, but you can say Benjamin Roseland and tries to slam this Murktide, you can daze it. If your opponent dazes you back, you can pay the mana, so you are in a commanding position, I think.
What would be the best top deck for Benjamin Land, finally?
Okay, I think Ponder was...
You counter that Ponder. You know your opponent have nothing. Obviously, you counter that Ponder.
Actually, I do agree with you. I would
Okay.
tend to daze, yep, that Ponder.
Yeah.
And this is...
You counter it. You have nothing in hand.
Absolutely. So in the end, one of the Reanimator decks, so the evil of the format, actually was defeated. So was this a good game or a bad game? Because in the other hand, still a Reanimator won this
At
game.
least in the 2 games, we see 1 reanimation.
Yeah. We saw Reanimate, we saw Tamil ran away with this game.
It's hard for us to find a match without any reanimator in this match.
Yeah,
The deck is really super strong, so I know already that on winning table there is a lot of UB reanimator. Like the first table, there is Meshantoma with it. We're gonna cast a lot of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that. And starting now, we are trying to put all the great table on stream.
Yep. So I think we will still try to find some win-ins, so maybe people with 1 defeat that are playing something else. We'll keep you up to date, and we will stop here the VOD. So the suspense for you watching us record it will end about now.